Guess who's back? Back again. Mikey's back. Tell a friend. Hey, everybody. Welcome to my new series here. It is called Arcade After Dark. And in this series, I'm going to be going through my arcade and playing some games and just having fun in the old arcade for everyone here on my channel. But before I go any further, let me just say, if you like this video or any other videos on my channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll be getting into Arcade After Dark coming in after the break. And here we go. SNK presents the 7th episode of the Fatal Fury franchise. Real Bout 2 Fatal Fury. And this is my favorite game in the main canon of the Fatal Fury franchise. Most people prefer Goru, Mark of the Wolves, but I actually prefer Real Bout 2 myself. But they're all good. It's all Fatal Fury, and it's all awesome. And so let's get down into some RB2. Let's go. And here's a look at the button mapping here. We have A is punch, and B is kick. And C is like a power attack, a strong punch, strong kick. And then D, you can actually move the plane that you are playing on, and is a really cool option that separates the Fatal Fury games from the rest of other fighting games. And the favorite character that I like to run as is, of course, Mai Shiranui. And we're going to go with Andy versus Mai in the first matchup here tonight. And this is actually me going against the computer, so I can give you guys a little look and show that, yes, I am actually pretty good at this game. When I play the computer, I can actually kick some butt. And I am actually, what you're seeing here today will be the first time I've ever played this game against another human being. I've only ever played against the computer, so I'm kind of testing out my skills to see how good I am, and I'm excited to be doing it. And in case you are unaware, the Fatal Fury franchise actually has an anime series. It was 3 animated films that were made based upon the first 2 games, and then the third one is kind of just kind of its own thing, not really associated with the games per se. But when people talk about the video games that have the best like stories and lore surrounding them, nobody gives Fatal Fury the due that it deserves. And in my opinion, I think it actually rivals and even surpasses Mortal Kombat as far as what fighting franchise has the best story. And I highly recommend you guys go back and check out the old animes that they did back in the 90s.
Joe? This is no time to be messing around with girls, Andy.
And there's Joe Higashi, and he is the first person I am fighting here. And again, this is real matches against real people here on Fightcade. And so let's see how I can do with Mai against Joe Higashi and against a real live human being. And this is ranked matches, and all the matches you'll be seeing here tonight is the best out of 3. And how you're seeing me play this Fightcade is actually, it's on my modded arcade 1-up cabinet that I actually have a PC installed in, and I'm playing on iiRcadians joysticks as well as HAP buttons with cherry micro switches. So I'm really happy with my setup, and really I don't have much to complain about here as far as gameplay or anything as that is concerned. The game is running quite smoothly. Although, if I'm honest, I will say that it does play a little bit better on my MVSX because it is fully optimized. So it is a little bit better if you can get the official optimized, officially released versions of the games. So I highly recommend going that route. But in case you cannot, you know, this is a great option to be able to play these games, especially online against other people. So that's why you will be seeing me talking about Fightcade here quite a bit on my channel, because I'm having a lot of fun playing Fatal Fury and King of Fighters and some of these games against other human beings that I have never played against before. And as you can see, Joe Higashi is definitely taking it to me so far. That's okay. You know, a lot of the players that I've encountered here on Fightcade, they are from South America, Japan, Europe, places where these games were and still are a lot more popular than they are here in America, where unfortunately these games never took off. But having said that, they worldwide popularity, I think you could honestly make a case for Fatal Fury and King of Fighters being equal to or possibly even surpassing that of Mortal Kombat, because Mortal Kombat is really an American fighting game, an American franchise. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, you know, go America for sure, but I'm saying on the global scale, there could be an argument made that some of these games from the Neo Geo library are indeed more popular than even that of Mortal Kombat. But of course, if we're all honest, you know, Street Fighter will be the king of it all, because that is a Japanese game as well and has taken over all over the world. But having said that, you know, these Neo Geo games are quite popular worldwide, just maybe not here in the good old US of A. But I have been thoroughly enjoying getting into the Neo Geo library, and I highly suggest everybody else do as well. These fighting games are fantastic, and if I'm honest with you guys, I enjoy playing these games more than Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. It just, they're different, the characters are all very unique and have very interesting stories and very interesting designs, and the more you get into these games, the better, and the better they get, and they just, each character feels completely different from the next, and that's a pretty amazing part of these games. Even more so than I would say even Street Fighter. Which, speaking of Street Fighter, a little unknown fact is the original creator of the first Street Fighter game. There was two gentlemen that collaborated on what eventually became the very first Street Fighter game, and one of them stayed with Capcom, and the other one left and joined up with SNK during the early days of Neo Geo, and that is why both Fatal Fury and then later King of Fighters and the Street Fighter franchise technically hold a place in the lore of fighting games and have a legitimate claim to the throne. And you can't really say that one is better than the other one. Now, you could argue that Street Fighter is the more popular game, and I don't know many people that would argue with you, and I suppose you could argue that Street Fighter 2 and some of the other Street Fighters might be the better game, but I feel that's completely opinion-based. And if you give some of these Fatal Fury and King of Fighters games a chance, you might actually be really surprised. And so that's one of the reasons I'm trying to, you know, get into this and talking about it here with you guys today, as we're looking at these matches. And here we go. Here's the final round. As you saw, I picked up my victory in the last one here against Hong Fu. And again, this is a new opponent, because after you lose or after you win, you have to stay as the character you were. So for the whole, unless you lose, then you can switch characters. But so see if I can pick up the victory here. My first one here on Fightcade and on RB2. And unfortunately I was unable to do it there. So let's see. You know, and another little tidbit here is I'm seeing in this match here as I'm watching it on replay, doing the voiceover. When I first got on Fightcade, I actually, you know, joined a lobby of this game and King of Fighters 98 and King of Fighters 97. I was just taking, you know, challenges from all three games. Whoever wanted to play, I would jump in and play that particular game. But I slowly realized the error of that mistake, especially when it comes to these Fatal Fury games, that each one of them kind of has a unique moveset, and so even though the characters are in multiple games, like most of these Fatal Fury characters are indeed in King of Fighters, King of Fighters plays differently than Fatal Fury. And so switching back and forth, it takes you a minute to readjust yourself to the moves, because even though the move sets are the same, like Mai does the same moves in King of Fighters that she does in Fatal Fury, the button configurations are a little bit different. You know, like Fatal Fury has the plane where you can, you know, change planes, and so it has that whole dynamic going on that King of Fighters does not. King of Fighters is a team-based game, so, you know, it has that whole dynamic. And so it takes a minute for me to figure out which button configuration I need for which particular game, and that's why I don't recommend jumping back and forth between these Fatal Fury games especially. Kind of stick with one that you're going to stick with today, because if you tried to go play, you know, Gauru Mark of the Wolves, for example, it's going to play much differently than this game. So it's better just to kind of stick with whatever one you want to play on that particular day, in my humble opinion anyways. And what do I know? Let's see if and Mai couldn't pull out the victory at the end of this one either. So, but what really drew me to the character of Mai to begin with, and I'll say this now, is when I'm looking at a fighting game, it only takes one character that I like appeals to me and I really latch onto, and I like their movesets and their design and everything, and then I will like that fighting game when I find that one character that I can latch onto. And when I first got into Fatal Fury and King of Fighters, the first character that I obviously went to was Terry Bogard, and he is my second favorite character, and I highly recommend him as well. But you won't see me playing with him in Fatal Fury so much as you will in King of Fighters, because King of Fighters is a team-based game where Fatal Fury is just solo. But the other reason is when I was playing these games and getting myself acquainted with them, I was going with Terry Bogard a lot, and and I was getting pretty good with him. Well, then on a whim, I just started going to some of the other characters, and when I started playing as Mai, I really started doing better against the computer than I was when I was playing as Terry. So I just decided to keep on going with her, and if I'm honest, she's also nice on the eyes, and that's not a terrible thing. So yeah, so she's got that going for her as well. But beyond all that, I like how quick she is. And then the way she throws her fans, it's the same as throwing as Hadouken in Street Fighter, and then that little spin you saw me do, it's like it's just as effective as the Dragon Punch in Street Fighter 2, but the moves in Fatal Fury are easier to pull off, and they're just more fluid. Like Street Fighter, the moves in Street Fighter 2, especially Championship Edition, feel clunky in comparison to some of these Neo Geo fighting games, if I'm being completely honest with everybody. And so that's why, so she basically has the Hadouken like Ryu, and she's got the Dragon Punch, but it's easier to pull off than the Dragon Punch with Ryu is. So she's got those same moves, and then she's got some other cool moves, and I just love how quick she is. She can just jump in and out, and I can jump over projectiles and everything. And for me, she has become my favorite female, not just fighting character of all time, but I would say video game character, period. You know, I've really latched on to Mai Shiranui, and yeah, like, definitely, if you ask me who my favorite female video game character is, it's Mai Shiranui, without a doubt. And as far as I'm concerned, Chun-Li can suck on it, because Mai is just a better character all around, and yeah, that's where I am. But in all seriousness, you know, Chun-Li came first, you know, so I'm not trying to start a flaming war between Street Fighter, because, you know, I love Street Fighter as well. I just trying to give a little bit of shout out to these Fatal Fury games and King of Fighters games, because there are some amazing games, and I really look forward to trying to challenge and play as many people as I can online. And even though I'm kind of getting my butt kicked out here today on Fightcade, that's alright, because I'm having a great time playing it, and it's a good time playing against real people on these games. It really is. And so you're going to be seeing me getting on Fightcade and doing a lot more of these videos now. I had a lot of fun making it. I had a lot of fun playing the games. And yeah, it's just been a good time. So even though I'm kind of, you know, getting kind of stomped as you look at the scores here, I haven't been able to pull off a single win a full-on match. I've won one round here. And as you see me pulling off my moves, like, it's not that I'm not good at this game. I'm good, but that just goes to show how good some of these players are.
Hey, keep your hands to yourself.
Tell him, Mai. And so there we are, folks. That is my video for you guys today. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. You know, look down in the description. I got to check out some stuff from our merch store, and also check the links and check out the iiRcadians if you haven't watched that show. And stay tuned to Mikey J Productions for more great content coming on this channel, whether it is more arcades or movie based or Lego stuff. Like, I definitely got some fun Lego ideas coming in the near future, so stay tuned for that as well.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, we got the iiRcadians merch store. If you want to take a little piece of the show with you, you can get it right here. We got everything. You want some Mikey J stuff? We got the Mikey J Productions for you. We got it all in the iiRcadians shop. So take a chance and stop by. We'll take care of you.
Continue. 9, 8.